I am Windsor Lindor, and I welcome you into this reflection on the currents that shape creative leadership, developing leaders who act with integrity, responsibility, and excellence. I want to begin with a truth that has followed me through years of leadership, technology, systems, architecture, consulting, coaching, and the sacred work of becoming. A person can run an entire enterprise competently and still not be the true author of it. The calendar can be full, the team can be moving, the commitments can be met, systems can be operating, the outcomes can look respectable. And underneath all of that visible function, the life of the leader may still be directed by unexamined pressure and irritated patterns, emotional fatigue, private doubt, or a definition of success that no longer carries the truth of the soul. This is one of the quiet realities of leadership. It rarely announces itself. It can hide inside productivity, achievement, responsibility, and a respectable public life. A leader may appear strong while privately negotiating with exhaustion. A leader may appear successful while inwardly disconnected from meaning. A leader may be trusted by others while still learning how to trust the deeper intelligence within. See, this is why creative leadership must begin beneath the surface. It begins with inner architecture. It begins with the structures of identity, core values, emotional intelligence, discipline, self awareness, and and aligned action that determine how a person stands, decides, communicates, creates, and repairs. As I reflect upon my own journey, I find myself reflecting less on the passage of time and more on the evolution of consciousness. There's there was a season in my late 20s and early 30s when I stood at a crossroads, searching for answers, direction, understanding, and inspiration. I wanted to know why certain challenges felt relentless, why balance felt fragile, and why peace seemed conditional. Yet beneath those questions lived a deeper longing. I was not simply searching for better circumstances. I was searching for a more meaningful way to live. I wanted to, I wanted a life rooted in core values, guided by purpose, my why, sustained by peace, and strong enough that no external condition could separate me from the life I desired to embody. My professional journey taught me how to build external structures. Life taught me how to build an inner one. The law of correspondence became more than philosophy. It became a mirror, as within, so without. The quality of my outer life could not rise beyond the quality of my inner alignment. The realization refined me. Every challenge became a teacher. Every setback became an invitation. Every success carried responsibility. Life was not merely happening around me. Life was refining me. From that refinement emerged Windsor Lindor Consulting, not simply as a company, as a visible expression of invisible transformation. I studied, I reflected, listened, rebuilt, and devoted countless nights to the pursuit of more than knowledge. I was pursuing alignment. I was learning how wisdom becomes action, how self-awareness strengthens our identity, how emotional intelligence matures leadership, how purpose becomes sustainable when it is lived with discipline. This is the foundation of the currents that shape creative leadership, developing leaders who act with integrity, responsibility, and excellence. Creative leadership is not formed in the spotlight first. It is formed in the unseen currents of the inner life. It is shaped by what we practice when no one is applauding, by how we respond when pressure enters the room, and by the core values we actually live rather than the core values we merely admire. There is a meaningful difference between functioning and authorship. Functioning keeps the machine running. Authorship knows what is running the machine. The first current that helps a leader move from functioning into authorship is presence. It is where creative leadership begins, because presence allows us to see what is actually here, not what fear is exaggerating, not what urgency is demanding, not what comparison is distorting, not what the ego is defending. You see, presence, it returns us to the center, where truth can be heard without panic and responsibility can be carried without losing the self. You see, in leadership, presence is not passivity. It is disciplined availability. It is the capacity to remain connected to yourself while responsibility is asking something difficult from you. Many capable people try to lead by moving faster. They fill their days with decisions, meetings, deadlines, obligations, and urgent requests. They become genuinely skilled at motion, while their inner life becomes harder to hear. Yes, presence interrupts that pattern. It says, return before you react. It says, listen before you decide. Breathe before you speak. Notice before you build. I think of presence as the lighthouse current. That is, a lighthouse does not chase the storm. It does not argue with the waves. It does not compete with the darkness. It stands. It shines. It offers orientation. That is what presence does inside the life of a leader. When you are present, you become easier to trust. Your decisions carry more weight. Your communication becomes less reactive. Your leadership begins to feel less like pressure and more like stewardship. Here is a practical application I call the presence anchor. See, there are 4 movements: pause, name, align, and choose. With pause, before the reaction. Name what is happening inside you. With align, with the core value as well, that needs to guide the moment. There you choose the next action from the core value rather than from the pressure. Before sending the message, Pause. Before entering the meeting, name the emotional weather inside you. Before making the decision, align with the core value that must govern it. Before speaking under pressure, choose the tone, timing, and truth that reflects the leader you are becoming. This is how vision becomes embodied. This is how emotional pressure stops governing the entire room. This is how a leader begins to create a culture of success from the inside out. Presence is not a soft skill. Presence is a leadership stabilizer. It allows the leader to stop being mastered by urgency and begin responding from inner authority. When presence deepens, the leader becomes more available to truth. When truth becomes more visible, the next question becomes unavoidable. What core values will structure the way I lead? This is where we'll go into the next recording segment. In segment 2, we will explore the second current, core values in action. We will examine why core values are not decorative language, why they function as load-bearing walls in the architecture of leadership, and how integrity, responsibility, and excellence become visible to behavior, boundaries, decisions, and follow through. I am Windsor Lindor. May this first current returns you to your center. May presence become the ground from which you lead, listen, decide, and create.